The Duchess of Cambridge's mother, Carole Middleton, shows she has the same taste in clothes as her daughter when she showed up to Royal Ascot today in a very familiar pink dress. The 67-year-old and her husband, Michael Middleton, dressed up smart for an appearance at the annual horse racing event, which sees both members of the public and royalty alike wear some of their most upmarket fashion pieces for the sporting competition. Carole looked elegant in a pink silk shirt dress, featuring a tied belt at the waist and pleated detail down the front. Alongside her dress, Carole also wore a large black fascinator and held a simple clutch bag under her arm, as well as wearing some delicate gold jewellery to finish her look. Meanwhile, her husband Michael, 72, looked dapper in a traditional top hat and tails. The dress worn by the 67-year-old entrepreneur is exactly the same as the one her daughter Catherine wore during a royal engagement last May. The Duchess previously wore the dress to meet with a 5-year-old patient who featured in her Hold Still photography project after she was photographed kissing her father through a window during lockdown. Catherine, 40, welcomed Mila Sneddon of Falkirk for tea at Holyroodhouse in May 2021 during a week-long visit to Scotland. The Duchess had previously spoken on the phone to the youngster who underwent intensive chemotherapy for leukemia last year, meaning she was forced to shield during the height of the pandemic. An image of her was taken by her mother Linda, entitled Shielding Mila. It was one of the 100 images included in the Duchess's book, Hold Still, a portrait of our nation in 2020. Catherine made good on a promise she made to wear pink, Mila's favourite colour, teaming her dress with tan heels and a floral face mask. This isn't the first time Carole and Catherine have had a twinning moment. While we often see the Middleton matriarch in some stunning and very Duchess-like looks, they've been spotted in the exact same outfit on several occasions. In her pre-Duchess days, she wore a striking white fascinator topped with a blue flower to a friend's 2009 wedding. The following year, Carole wore the same hat to Royal Ascot, pairing it with a sharp cobalt dress by Reese. The Ascot outfit got even more mileage when the Duchess borrowed the dress for her first ever public speech as a member of the royal family in 2012, wearing the belted style to East Anglia's Children's Hospice Treehouse facility. Carole even shared her own wedding dress with daughter-in-law Elise, who wore the gown for her 2021 wedding to James Middleton. For today's Royal Ascot, Catherine's parents looked to be enjoying their day out as they chatted with fellow racing fans on the stands. They were not joined by the Duchess, however many other members of the royal family were out in force, with the exception of the Queen, who had to miss the event due to her ongoing mobility issues. Royals at the event included Prince Charles and Camilla, who were joined by the Duchess of Cornwall, and were in attendance alongside a host of other royals, including Princess Anne and her 2 children, Peter Phillips and Zara Tindall, Countess Sophie Wessex, and Princess Beatrice, who was joined by her husband Edoardo Mapelli-Mosey. Her Majesty is a huge fan of the annual racing event and prior to the pandemic had been in attendance at every race between 1952 and 2020. She was reported to have watched the race from her home several miles away at Windsor Castle, especially as her horse, King's Lynn, competed. Today's matching moment comes after the news that the Cambridge family will reportedly be moving to Windsor later this year, a closer drive to the Middletons' family home in Berkshire. As for this year's Royal Ascot, fans are anxiously awaiting the Duchess's arrival, and another Carole sighting, too.